ago, a day was only 21 hours long. Did you know that your brain is constantly eating itself? Did you know that? Or what about the largest piece of fossilized dinosaur poo discovered is over 30 centimeters long and over 2 liters in volume? It's believed to be a Tyrannosaurus rex turd, octopuses don't actually have tentacles. They have 8 limbs, but they are arms. Scientists define tentacles as limbs with suckers at the end, but octopus arms have suckers down most of the length of their arms and not just the ends, which is why they're not considered tentacles. Number 20. Most maps of the world are wrong. On most maps, the Mercator projection is still used, which was first developed in 1569. This method is widely inaccurate and makes Alaska appear as large as Brazil, and Greenland appear 14 times larger than it actually is. For a map to be completely accurate, it would need to be life-size and round, not flat. Did you know that NASA genuinely faked part of the moon landing? While Neil Armstrong's first steps on the lunar surface were categorically not faked, the astronaut quarantine protocol when the astronauts arrived back on Earth was largely just one big show. Number 22. Comets smell like rotten eggs. Number 23. Earth's poles are moving. This magnetic reversal of the North and South Pole has happened 171 times in the past 71 million years, and we are overdue for a flip. It could come soon, as the North Pole is moving at around 55 kilometers per year, an increase over the 15 kilometers per year up until 1990. Did you know you can actually die laughing, and a number of people have, typically due to intense laughter causing a heart attack or suffocation? Comedy shows should come with a warning. Did you know that chainsaws were first invented for childbirth? Or did you know that ants don't have lungs? They instead breathe through spiracles, which are 9 or 10 tiny openings, depending on the species. Here's a good one for you. The T-Rex likely had feathers. Scientists in China discovered early T-Rex skeletons that were covered in feathers. So if the ancestors of the T-Rex had feathers, the T-Rex probably did too. Football teams wearing red kits play better. Interesting. Number 29. Wind turbines kill between 10,000 and 100,000 birds each year in the United Kingdom. But painting one of the blades of a wind turbine black can reduce bird deaths by 70%. Number 30. Snails have between 1,000 and 12,000 teeth, but they aren't like ours, so don't be thinking that snails have front teeth. You'll find that the snail has tiny teeth all over its tongue instead. Did you know that sound can actually be registered as a minus decibel, a negative decibel? The quietest place on Earth is in Redmond, Washington, and it measures a negative 20.6 decibel. A horse one seems crazy to me. Did you know that bananas are radioactive? Or did you know that there's no such thing as a straight line? If you zoom in close enough to anything, you spot irregularities. And even a laser light beam is slightly curved. Number 37. Deaf people are known to use a sign language in their sleep. Do you know where the happiest country on earth is? Well, you do now because it's Finland. Hippos can't swim. They have big bones that are dense and they're barely buoyant at all. They don't swim, and instead they perform a slow motion gallop on the riverbed. They can sleep underwater thanks to their built-in reflexes that allow them to pop up, take a breath, and sink back down without waking. Did you know that the moon looks upside down in the southern hemisphere compared to the northern hemisphere anyways? Number 41. You can yo-yo in space. It works because a yo-yo mainly relies on the laws of conservation of angular momentum to perform tricks, which, provided you keep the string taut, they apply in microgravity too. Not only plants photosynthesize, algae and some other organisms, including sea slugs and bee aphids, contain chlorophyll and can also take sunlight and turn it into an energy source. Number 43. You can be pregnant and not even realize. 1 in 500 don't even recognize it until they're at least halfway through, and 1 in 2,500 do not know until labor begins. Did you know that what causes your skin to itch is actually bacteria on your skin? It's a specific bacteria that releases a chemical that activates a protein in our nerves, and this sends a signal from our skin to our brains, which our brain perceives as an itch. Did you know that starfish don't have bodies? Their entire bodies are technically classified as heads, so they're just one big head. There was one time when somebody was constipated for 45 days and had to undergo surgery to remove the fecal mass. It was as large as a football. Number 47. You travel 2.5 million kilometers a day around the sun without even realizing it. And that's because of the Earth's orbit around the sun and also around the Milky Way. Fish form orderly queues in emergencies. When they're evacuating through narrow spaces and sketchy situations, schools of fish form a line. How nice of them. Did you know there are more bacterial cells in your body than human cells? The average human is about 56% bacteria. Number 50. Most ginger cats are male. That's roughly a 3-to-1 ratio. Did you know that your nails grow faster in the hot summer? And it's probably due to increased blood supply to the kilometers above sea level. And that's because alpine bumblebees have been found living that high up. There's a planet mostly made from diamond. It's called 55 Cancri E. It's about twice the size of Earth and about 40 light years away from us within the Cancer constellation. Whoever can figure out how to get to that planet first will be rich. Did you know that animals can be allergic to humans? The same way that we can be allergic to animals. Animals can be allergic to our dead skin cells, which is dander. Number 55, being bored is actually a high arousal state. And that's because when you're bored, your heart rate increases. Here's something you almost certainly didn't know. Platypus. They sweat milk. Lego bricks withstand compression better than concrete. An ordinary plastic Lego brick is able to support the weight of 375,000 other bricks before it fails. This theoretically would let you build a tower nearing 3.5 kilometers in height. And scaling this up to house-sized bricks. However, it might cost a pretty penny buying that many Legos. Martial artists who smile before the start of a match are more likely to lose. Number 59. It's almost impossible to get too much sugar from fresh fruit. Number 60. You don't like the sound of your own voice because of the bones in your head, and it makes our voice sound deeper. A rainbow on Venus is called a glory. Protons look like peanuts, rugby balls, bagels, and spheres. They come in all different shapes and sizes, with their appearance changing based on the speed of smaller particles within them, which are called quarks. Mirrors facing each other don't produce infinite reflections. Each reflection will be darker than the last and eventually fade into invisibility. And that's because mirrors absorb a fraction of the energy of the light striking them. The total number of reflections that a mirror can produce is somewhere around a few hundred before it becomes invisible. Psychologists argue that aspects of being evil can actually be cured by cognitive behavioral therapy. So, there might be a cure for being evil. Number 65. All mammals get goosebumps. Football players spit so much because exercise increases the amount of protein in saliva. Did you know that some animals display autistic-like traits? Atypical social habits, specifically. The biggest butterfly in the world has a 31-centimeter wingspan. Number 69. You remember more dreams when you sleep badly. You could sweat when you're anxious to alert others. the surface of the sun. It has a temperature of 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 30,000 degrees Celsius. The longest anyone has held their breath underwater is over 24.5 minutes. It was achieved by Croatian Budimir Sobat. It was 24 minutes and 37 seconds. The average human can do somewhere between 30 and 90 seconds. The moon is shrinking by about 50 meters in radius over the last several 100 million years. Mysterious seismic activities known as moonquakes could be to blame. Did you know that when dogs tilt their head while you're speaking towards them, it's to better pinpoint familiar words? Or did you know that if the earth doubled in size, trees would immediately fall over due to a surface gravity being doubled? Number 76. Mercury, not Venus, is the closest planet to Earth on average. Flamingos are not born pink. They actually come into the world with gray and white feathers and develop the pink hue after starting a diet of brine shrimp and blue-green algae. Did you know that you can smell ants? Many species of ants release a very strong smelling chemical when they're angry, threatened, or being squished. Trapjaw ants release a chocolatey smell when annoyed, while citronella ants earn their name from the lemony odor they give off. Forget candles, you can just get an ant jar. People who eat whatever they want and stay slim have a slow metabolism, not fast. People tend to say they have a fast metabolism, but in reality a skinny person tends to have less muscle mass than others, meaning their metabolic rate is lower than those of a high muscle mass. Number 80. Earth is 4.54 billion years old. This was discovered with radiometric dating. Electrons might live forever, but they're not quite sure. If they don't live forever, it's about 5 quintillion times longer than the universe has been around, so it's pretty much forever. Did you know that beavers don't actually live in dams? Technically, they live in a lodge, which they build behind a dam within a deep pool of water. The average dinosaur lifespan was surprisingly small. T-Rexes, for example, didn't live much longer than 27 to 33 years. Number 84. Someone left a family photo on the moon. When Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke landed on the moon in 1972, he decided to leave behind a photo of him, his 2 sons, and his wife, and the photo remains on the moon to this day. On Saturn's largest moon, it rains methane. The moon is Titan. Did you know that giraffes hum to communicate with each other? It's a low-frequency humming, and it could be a form of a contact call between individuals who have been separated from their herd, helping them find each other in the dark. Some researchers think they sleep talk too. Glass sponges can live for 15,000 years, which would make them one of the longest living organisms on Earth. The immortal jellyfish jellyfish, however, could theoretically live forever, but scientists aren't quite sure on that one. In any group of 23 people, 2 people will share a birthday according to the math. If you want to learn the math on that one, go look up a little video on YouTube. It's interesting, but the math it makes sense. But it sounds so wrong. Number 89. Murder rates rise in the summer. Did you know that the new car smell is actually a mix of over 200 chemicals? Or did you know that sea level isn't actually level? As the strength of the force generated by the Earth's spin is strongest at the equator, the average sea level bulges outward there, putting it further from the center of the Earth than at the poles. Interesting. Number 92. You inhale 50 potentially harmful bacteria every time you breathe. But thankfully your immune system is working to destroy all of them promptly. Did you know that you can see stars as they were 4,000 years ago with the naked eye? It's because the time it takes for light to travel to the Earth. You can see that light if it's within 4,000 light years with your naked eye. Plants came before seeds. And we know that because of fossil records where early plants resembled moths and reproduced with single-celled spores. Seeds didn't really evolve for another 150 million years. Our dead cells are eaten by other cells in our body. Did you know that smells can pass through liquids? Or did you know that bats aren't actually blind? They can see, but they still use their echolocation. Number 98. Pine trees can't tell if it's about to rain. If it's a closed tree, it's because the air is humid, which can indicate rain is on the way. You can't fold a piece of A4 paper more than 8 times. As the number of layers doubles each time, the paper rapidly gets too thick and too small to fold. The current world record paper folding belongs to California high school student Brittany Gallivan, who in 2002 managed to fold a 1.2 kilometer long piece of tissue paper 12 times. Number 100. Laughing came before language. And how do we know? Because some researchers tickled baby apes, which, beyond being adorable, showed that they share the same structure as ours, and likely arose in our common ancestors millions of years ago. Language came about much later. Well, there you go. That is 100 random facts. But I'll give you a bonus fact. Since it's been a while, I'll give you a bonus fact. Number 101. Your brain burns 400 to 500 calories a day. And there you go. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. And thank you for your patience these past few weeks. I've not uploaded, as you probably know. I've been in the process process of moving, as I mentioned, and I just haven't been able to film, unfortunately. But we are so back. We are so back. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be filming again and, connecting with you all again. So we have many more videos to come. I still do have some more moving to do here in the couple weeks, but, I've gotten the majority of it done at this point, and I obviously have a filming setup again. So, we'll start ramping things back up again, start getting back into the groove of things. So, yeah, I'm in downtown Denver now, which, believe it or not, is quieter than where I was before. But yeah, I'm excited for this next phase, this next chapter of our channel. So let's embark on this journey together. But have a great